What up, Taco Crew? How is everybody feeling out there on this fantastic Sunday evening? Hope everyone is feeling well today. Rested. Relaxed on a Sunday evening as one should. As one should, bruh. Got a question for everyone. Who watched No Surrender this weekend? I did. I enjoyed it. Absolutely enjoyed it. And I hope you guys did too, because it was a very important show. No Surrender was a very, very important show this weekend. This will mark the first pay-per-view without Scott D'Amore. So I'm sure it was an emotional one for the locker room. But unfortunately, it is something that they have all chosen to push forward and to get through, because that is TNA. That is TNA, and that is what they do. In the face of adversity, man, they push through. It doesn't mean they're happy about it. No one is happy about it. But at the end of the day, pardon the expression, but they have decided to do what is best for business. And you really can't fault them for that, man. I know a lot of them, probably like me, wanted to protest, wanted to kick and scream and try to force what they wanted back into existence. But instead, they have chosen to put the fans first and put on a fantastic wrestling event. And you know what? That's exactly what they did. That is exactly what they did. And shout out to everyone in that locker room who took it upon themselves to do just that, man. To say, we don't like this, we're not happy about this, but we're going to go out there and do business. I think that's important, man. I really do. Their grievances and their gripes, they were heard. The locker room made those issues very abundant. They made them abundantly clear in an open letter to Anthem, who, by the way, executives from Anthem were in attendance and backstage for No Surrender. So that's a fantastic thing. Why? Because it gives them the opportunity, the talent, to see upper management face to face and let upper management see what these people have to say with a face attached to it. You know what I mean? As opposed to just being a statistic on a page, they got to hear from human beings who were by and large affected by this decision to let Scott go. Now, I'm in the camp of most when I say I don't believe this was I don't believe the true reason why Scott was let go has been made public. All right. Now, I'm going to level with you guys, okay? As I sit here and try to find the correct words to try to put in perspective what happened with Scott D'Amore. Let's start with this. First and foremost, we don't know. We don't know, okay? I want to start right there. We don't know. What we do know is that there is something that we don't know. That we know. Unfortunately, we don't know what that something is. All right? I'll level with you guys. I've heard something. I've heard something, and I got to tell you, the source is less than reliable, okay? It's less than reliable. And every day that goes by and this story has not popped up anywhere in any kind of article, it leads me more and more to believe that the thing that I heard is absolutely not true. All right? We know how this business goes. We know how everything goes in 2024. Eventually, the truth comes out. Eventually, the truth comes out, man. So, that being said, the story I heard, I refuse to give it any credibility. I refuse to make it public until I've seen an official report about it. So in the meantime, as far as I'm concerned, as far as the rest of the fans are concerned, Scott D'Amore was, I don't want to say unjustly fired, especially when we don't know what it is. But I will say, it seems that Scott D'Amore was let go for no good reason, okay? Again, if the story comes out that I heard, if it makes its way to the public, I'll address it, okay? In the meantime, as far as I'm concerned, it's not true. And like I said, the source is been wrong plenty of times. Let's just put it like that. But let's do this. Let's get into No Surrender. All right? What a show. What a show. It seems that the show was anchored by, and it could have been anchored by a couple of different things, but this particular show was anchored by the debut of one Chicago's very own best wrestler, the best wrestler Chicago has ever produced, Mustafa Ali. We have Mustafa Ali facing Chris Sabin in the main event. It's monumental, man. The campaign of Mustafa Ali is in full swing. Not only that, we have a new X Division champion and also a new face of the company. There's a lot of fanfare for the arrival of Dolph Nemeth, you know. But in my humble opinion, my personal humble opinion, Mustafa Ali has hit the TNA scene in a big league fashion, man. In a real big league fashion. He's been given the promo hype packages. All right. He was given the entrance. This guy had 4 Secret Service agents walking him out to the ring, bruh. They had their earpieces on. You know, clearly there must have been more than 4 Secret Service agents, because if there's 4 out there with him, who are they all talking to in the earpieces? There's 4 of them out there. There must have been more in the back. Very high profile entrance, all right? He gets the pay-per-view main event spot. This is his debut match. This is his debut match in the company. In his first appearance, he's the first person to win the X Division title in his debut match. They're making Mustafa Ali an extremely big deal. It feels like this is the gimmick that he wanted to do in WWE but was denied. You guys remember that? Remember, I think he did something. He said something on Twitter or something like that. He came out and said, you know, he had an idea for a refresh, a new gimmick, and things like that. But apparently, the what do you say, the machine or the system or something like that, you know, they weren't ready for it. Basically, he couldn't get the green light to do it. So he started posting his own promo packages on his own Twitter, you know what I'm saying? And they just they came up from time to time, then he just kind of let it go, let it fade away. Then he went back to being just a regular jobber, and we kind of heard nothing from it. You know? But now here he is. Here he is in the Impact Zone. And my God, does he look happy. He looks so happy. And that's something that we can honestly say we have not seen from Ali in a very, very long time. The guy loves posting his workout videos where he's doing train wrestling with his friends and things like that, man. And he looks happy in those. But then when you see him on TV, not so much anymore. It's just there. You know, that's something that you can't kayfabe, man. That's something that you really can't hide from the fans. We can tell if you're enjoying yourself out there. We can tell. You know, maybe not everyone can, but for the most part, a lot of people can tell that you're just out there going through the motions, or if you're out there having fun. And Mustafa Ali, for the first time in a very long time, appears to be enjoying himself in what he is doing in the ring. It's a beautiful thing to see, man. Also, MK Ultra, much to the delight of yours truly, are once again knockout tag team champions. MK Ultra are tag team champions, and everything is right in the world, bruh. Everything is right in the world. We have the first title defense in 2024 from Moose in an extremely overbooked match. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? We'll get into it, bruh. We will get into it. Thank you guys so much for being here, man. I appreciate you all. Man. I did want to do this yesterday, but real life caught up with me. Family stuff. Like I've always said, man, I gotta be a dad first, but it doesn't mean I forget about you guys, man. I'm always here. If I say I'm gonna do it, that's what's gonna happen, bruh. I am gonna do it. Follow me on X, Twitter, toxic Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Follow me at Chitown Smark. I try to get on as much as I can. And when I say as much as I can, what I mean is as much as I can tolerate. As much as I can tolerate. Nonetheless, you need to reach out to me. You can find me on Twitter. Get those super chats in. At the end of the show, we will cover the topics that you guys want to talk about, man. We'll kick back, and we'll talk about what you guys want to discuss in the wonderful world of pro wrestling. Get those in. We'll cover them at the end of the show. Become a Taco Crew member. We are currently accepting new applications for Taco Crew members starting in the month of March. Starting in the month of March, ladies and gentlemen, Taco Crew members will receive an exclusive Taco Crew upload. Might cover a range of different things. I'm thinking about doing some mean tweets. That will be fun. I might make some of my signature tacos. Make a video out of it. That would be fun. Maybe I got some stuff on my mind that I'm probably not supposed to be saying publicly. But I'll say them to my Taco Crew, man. We don't know. But I do know this, starting in March and every month going forward, Taco Crew members will get exclusive uploads to the channel. So get those memberships in. Let's get into the show. Let's get into the show. First and foremost, the TNA World Title #1 contenders match. Frankie Kazarian versus EY Eric Young. So this is Frankie's first match. Is it his first match? I'm not sure I think it might be. No, that's not his first match. It's definitely his first pay-per-view match since his new attitude adjustment. Since his new outlook on life. It's Frankie. In case you are new here, I've always been big on Frankie, man. You know, I don't have Frankie in the main event, but Frankie Kazarian has always held a special spot in my heart because I can appreciate what Frankie has done in this business and what he can do. And he whatever spot you need Frankie to play on your card, Frankie excels at it. So I can appreciate the work of Frankie Kazarian. Frankie comes out and he demands. He turns to the ring announcer who had a rough night, to say the least. I didn't get her name, man. What is the ring announcer's name? Like, who is she? My God, man. Look, maybe she was nervous. Maybe she needed practice. I don't know. But sometimes it was a little rough. And when you're reviewing a show and you're talking about things like the ring announcer is one of those positions where you only get recognized if you really mess up. Kind of like the referee, unless you can stand out in an extremely positive way, you're supposed to just blend into the background. And I know for one of the matches, she did not do that at all. She was just lost and not great. But nonetheless, Frankie turns to the ring announcer and demands that he is introduced to the live crowd as the King of TNA. Kind of a bold statement, right? He's like, announce me as the king. I'm like, oh, okay. Mufasa? Shit, man. She reluctantly did so. Announced him as the king of TNA. The crowd was not happy about that, bruh. They were not happy about that. The match kicks off. They start evenly matched on the early on, tossing each other around the ring. Frankie lands a few suplexes before nailing a slingshot cutter. Eric tries for a pile driver, but Kazarian hits fade to black instead. You know, I mean, the match was fine. Just look, there was not a whole lot to the match. I'm gonna be honest here, okay? It did feel like a little bit of a filler, and if I'm being honest here, I'm not even sure why the number one contendership for the world title came down to Frankie Kazarian and Eric Young. I'm just not exactly sure as to how these two guys are the two that are at the absolute top. I mean, I don't know if I would have put either one there, if I'm being honest with you. But nonetheless, Kazarian hits fade to black. While Kazarian argued with the ref over the near fall, EY planted him with a crucifix bomb, and the ref counted 3. That was basically it, man. I mean, there was nothing to write home here about. Eric Young gets the win, and he will be facing the world champion at the next pay-per-view. I don't get it. I'm not gonna lie. I don't get it. To me, it felt like this was something that a spot that was made for Frankie Kazarian. He seemed to be the one that had the story going in, you know, the momentum going in, the heel turn, and then right away he loses to EY for the number one contendership. I don't know. I'm wondering if this was this the first of many changes that could have been made in the absence of Scott D'Amore. I wonder if Frankie Kazarian was supposed to be the one to face Moose next. This is me wondering. I don't know. But Pro Wrestling 101 tells me that when you have a fresh new heel like this and they have momentum going, that you don't have them lose this early on in the heel turn. So that one I'm a little, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. But nonetheless, we got EY, Eric Young, who, to be honest with you, I could appreciate, and I do enjoy Eric's in-ring ability. All right, I'll start there. I enjoy the way he works in the ring, but gimmick-wise, it's just there. You know, it's just a little bit boring. Yeah, I get it. It would be a heel versus heel if it was Moose, but I don't know. Moose is a heel, but Moose still gets cheered, which, by the way, is something that Moose hates. And I personally found that out when I was at the at a show in Chicago, and Moose caught me cheering. Moose caught me cheering for him, and he got mad at me. True story. I was front row, and Moose came walking right. You could probably see it on camera. He came walking right by me, and I looked at him. And I said, "Moose, Moose." He looked at me and said, "I don't need you to. I know my own name." I was like, sorry. Broke my heart. Broke my heart, man. Shattered the dreams of a young fan. I digress. After the match, Kazarian beat down the referee for a couple of minutes. You know, Frankie got pissed off. Started taking it out on officials. Then a few more officials came out. Chased him off. That was the end of that. The match was fine. The match was fine. The match was nothing to write home about. There was nothing really exciting going on with it. Basically paint by numbers if you really want to look at it that way. The end goal was to get EY to the number one contendership. But again, I just don't know why it's Eric Young. I don't know why. But it is what it is. It should be a fantastic match. It will, come off great. I don't see it being a main event match. Much like on this evening. I wonder if the world title is not going to main event the pay-per-view again. But we'll see. We will see. Next up, we have match 3 of the best 2 out of 3 falls for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. We have ABC versus GYV for the TNA World Championships, Tag Team Championships. The Grizzled Young Veterans, man. This was a fantastic match. Just recently, it was in Meltzer. I'm not sure if this list was Meltzer's picks or the fan picks for best tag team, but FTR won best tag team. And I forget who 2 and 3 was, but nonetheless, ABC was not on that list, at least in the top 3 that I saw, which is a crime. I believe it's a crime. I don't want to take anything from FTR, but for 2023, ABC was probably, at least in my opinion, the best tag team out of all the major promotions. They had a fantastic year. They put on banger after banger after banger, man. They put on absolute banger after fucking banger. I don't know. I don't get it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So we get into the match. Ace and Gibson kicks things off. They start trash talking. Then they go into their lockup. Drake gets the tag and knocks down Chris Bay from the apron. Bay eventually comes in off the tag, but ends up getting picked apart by Gibson and then Drake. Bay finally pulls out a drop kick and Gibson on Gibson, and both men go down. Drake takes out Ace on the apron just as Bay leaps for a tag. Drake flips him off, chops Bay's throat, goes for a cover. Drake chokes Chris Bay with a scarf while Ace accidentally distracts the ref. Accidentally. So there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of traditional, blind referee, stupid good guy syndrome stuff going on. But they paced it very well. They paced the match very well, and they kind of just baited you in with the slow start, but then this match really hits second gear, picks up, and the ending was a fantastic crescendo, much like every ABC match, man. I think ABC was extremely underrated this year. It's my personal opinion. Gibson returns to grounding Bay with a headlock. Bay finally hits a neck breaker. But Drake gets the tag and traps Bay again. Bay escapes to tag Ace. Ace flies in with a double missile drop kick before leaping out with Sword of Glory on Gibson. ABC double team Gibson briefly as Bay hits a frog splash. ABC then double spin kicks Drake. Ace hits a twisting moonsault. Bay goes for the cover. Again, action, hot and fast, man. These guys, all 4 of these guys, they work very well together. The only other team I see ABC working better with than GYV are the Rascals. Rascals and ABC are just made to fight forever, bruh. They just have fight forever energy written all over them. Drake catches Bay in the midst of a 1-2 sweep with a sleeper. Gibson traps Ace in the hole right next to him, and Bay struggles to stay in it. Bay rolls back for a near fall that Gibson can't break. GYV verbally regroups before Austin dumps Gibson out. GYV hits Doomsday Device on Ace to the floor. Bay is all alone in the ring. GYV stands off. Well, looking at Bay, like, we got him. We got him, bruh. Let's see. Bay hits Gibson with a famouser, but Gibson hits a corner lung blower. Drake goes coast to coast with a drop kick. Beautiful coast to coast. Shane McMahon would have been jealous. Let's put it like that. Shane would have been jealous, bruh. Gibson covers near fall, and the crowd is shocked because that probably should have been the end of the match. It probably should have been the end of the match, but it was not. It was not. Ace shoves Drake off the top, and Bay gets off of Gibson's shoulders. Ace chokes Gibson with the scarf while the ref checks on Drake. You know, you did it to me, I'm doing it to you. Double Art of Fitness on GYV before Ace hits the fold on Gibson for the win. ABC retains to Sweet. Best tag team in TNA, in my opinion, currently, best tag team in the world. But that's just me. That's just me. It is debatable. I'm aware that that is my opinion. But to not even be on the list, I think is a crime. I think it's an absolute crime. So, yeah, absolutely. ABC is absolutely still in Bullet Club, man. That's what I like about Bullet Club. Has representatives in pretty much every organization across the world. That's what it feels like, right? There's Bullet Club in every promotion. Easy, Bullet Club is the largest faction on the planet in pro wrestling, bro. Backstage, we have Steve Macklin hyping up the Rascals when Bailey and Seven try to ambush him. The referees jump in and try to stop him. You know? And they try to stop him. Except WWE. Really? Is Gallows and Anderson and AJ Styles gone? Are they gone? Because otherwise, it's still them. You know they got to change the name in WWE, right? They can't be called Bullet Club because PG. But yeah, that's WWE's representative of Bullet Club right there, man. We then get PCO versus Khan, match of the night. Not so much. Not so much, man. PCO versus Khan was a match that I do not know why existed on this card tonight. I don't know. I don't get it, but it is what it is. Let's get through it, man. Khan meets PCO on the ramp because PCO was doing his entrance where he is laid down on the gurney, right? And the doctors or the mad scientists or whoever they are come out with jumper cables, you know? They got a... And I always wondered, like, why sit in the ring and wait for these mad scientists to clear? Why not just go out there and start kicking his ass before he gets into all of that? But for Khan, that's exactly what he does. Khan meets PCO on the ramp to start the match. PCO takes him to the ring and throws him into the corner. PCO goes to dive, but Khan strikes him down and then choke slams him on the apron. If you thought this was just gonna be another match with PCO taking ridiculous bumps that the guy his age should not be taking, then you are absolutely right. You are absolutely correct. because that is exactly what we got. PCO pops right back up with a clothesline. They continue brawling outside until Khan strikes him with a chair to cause the DQ. Winner, via disqualification, PCO. Khan continues beating down PCO and goes to throw around the timekeeper on the floor. Khan rolls into the ring and poses until PCO pops up from the pile of chairs that he was buried under. PCO chokes Khan and sends him over the ropes. PCO flies out to tackle him. PCO strikes Khan, gains control, and traps PCO's hand in the entranceway and one of the scaffoldings. I don't know if he had like a zip tie to keep his hand there. I'm not sure exactly what that was, but he had his hand trapped in one of the scaffoldings, and he just kind of took a chair and he used the chair. So Khan's been doing this this like Michael Myers like neck breaker type ish, where you do it and it's supposed to like kill people in the movies, right? I guess Khan's been doing that to not kill wrestlers, but this time Khan did it using a chair. So he put his head to one side, put it against his chair, and supposedly did the thing with the chair. I don't know how the chair was there and his neck still turned, but I don't know. Khan did that and then left PCO there for dead. But then PCO lets out a roar and Khan just disappears backstage. That's how the segment ended. Man, was this bad. This was beyond bad. I mean, I don't know if anyone expected anything more, but we definitely didn't get anything more. PCO wins by disqualification. What are you going to do, man? In the locker room, we have Shelley tells Kushida and Kevin Knight not to throw in the towel in their match because Shelley will be facing Moose for the TNA World Championship in a No Surrender match, right? The only way to lose the match is if your cornerman throws in the towel on your behalf. It's the only way to lose. So we got Shelley telling his crew, don't you throw in that towel. Don't you throw in that towel. He said, all right, we know, okay. Someone's got to throw in the towel, right? Or the match will never end. It's been 2 days. We'd still be sitting there waiting for the match to end. He also tells Chris Sabin that he does not want him at ringside. Tells his partner in crime, tells Sabin, I don't want you at ringside because I want you to focus on your own match, because Chris Sabin is slated in the main event spot tonight with Mustafa Ali. All right. Next up, the Knockouts World Tag Team Championship. Decay, Havoc and Rosemary versus MK Ultra, Masha Slamovich, and Killer Kelly. Shout out to Tony Brown. Masha and Havoc duke it out as Rosemary and Kelly also spill to the outside. So it starts off as a big melee, bro. They start off like we're going right at it, bro. It starts off, we're going right at it. And MK Ultra, you know, that's my squad, man. That's my squad. So I came into this already not happy that Decay had won the Knockouts tag team titles. So I was hoping for an MK Ultra win. Let's see what we get, man. They get back inside after they spill. Havoc hits a backbreaker and then tags out. Masha ends up stomping on Rosemary while the ref is distracted. Kelly gets the tag, and Masha slams her on Rosemary. Little tandem tag team action right there. Quick tags from MK Ultra. Rosemary takes Kelly down, and they take turns rising up on each other. They did the spot, and it was so hot. It was so hot. You had like Rosemary just spread, and then you had Kelly spread, and they kept getting each other's. Okay, all right. You gotta go. You gotta go check it out. But they kept doing that back and forth on each other. Kept rising up, almost like Undertaker style with the leg splits. It's kind of awesome. All right. Masha breaks it up, and MK Ultra hits high-low on Rosemary. Masha goes for a snowplow on Rosemary, but she counters with a slam. All right. Tags made to Kelly and Havoc. Havoc headbutts her and then hits a running hip attack on both from MK Ultra. Kelly chops, but Havoc drops her with a DVD in a near fall. Decay hits the combo sit-out powerbomb, but Masha breaks it up. Masha tags herself in and counters Rosemary's spear with a snow plow. Masha pins Rosemary for the win. MK Ultra are once again Knockouts tag team champions, and like I said before, everything is right in the world. It's a beautiful thing, man. Afterwards, MK Ultra blast Havoc, with the titles, and they're stomping on Rosemary because they want to. They can do whatever the hell they want. All right? And while they're enjoying themselves, doing what they want, out comes Danny Luna and Jody Threat to not mind their own business and to get into MK Ultra's business. MK Ultra retreats, and clearly we have set ourselves up for the next Knockouts Tag Team title match with Jody Threat and Danny Luna. The System backstage. The System discusses their game plan. Moose says they cannot throw in the towel under no circumstances. So if Moose said don't throw in the towel, and if Shelley said don't throw in the towel, who's going to throw in the towel? Who's going to throw in the towel, bro? Gotta wait and find out. But first, Josh Alexander, the walking weapon. The walking charisma-less weapon versus Simon Gotch. A debuting Simon Gotch. To the surprise of quite a few people. Simon Gotch showed up, made a statement, attacked Josh Alexander. Apparently they had a match a long time ago, and Gotch never forgot about it, I guess, and he wants revenge. That's the story we're given. That's the story we're going with. All right? We get quite a few tidbits from Aiden English on commentary, talking about how Gotch was his boy, giving us the inside scoops, giving us the scoops on Simon Gotch. Gotch right away flips the bird to Josh. All right, before they go to the mat with grappling, they trade various headlocks on the mat for a bit until Josh pivots into the ankle lock for a split second. A lot of catch wrestling. A lot of catch as catch can, if you will. So, I don't know. The match was fine. Both of these guys can wrestle, bro. Both of them are really good at what they do. But at the end of the day, who are we kidding, man? There was very little interest in this match. And, for good reason. They had very little build. Neither one of them gave us any real reason to care about the match. I don't know. But I digress. Gotch runs to the bottom rope, runs through the bottom rope, They trade uppercuts and forearm strikes. Gotch hits a running senton on Josh's back on the apron. Gotch goes over to Matt Rewald for a Vaudevillains throwback, before hitting a running elbow drop on Alexander on the floor. They get back inside the ring. Gotch traps Josh again in a scissor hold. Josh comes back with a series of German suplexes. Gotch hits Josh with a drop kick to the neck. Gotch goes for another apron senton, but Josh moves and knocks him down with a running crossbody to the floor. They meet nose to nose in the center before trading blows. Josh hits a big exploder suplex cover attempt. Gotch traps Josh in a chokehold that knocks his headgear off. Josh escapes the counters into an ankle lock. Josh hits a backbreaker followed by a C4 spike for the win. Josh Alexander very predictably wins the match. Nothing to really write home about here. Like I said, the match had no momentum going in. As far as the in-ring work, it was fine. I wouldn't necessarily call it pay-per-view worthy. This was definitely a regular weekly show match, to be honest, if you're asking me. It feels like if Josh Alexander is the walking weapon and if he is as important to the roster as they are leading me to believe that he is, then to me, I'm wanting to see Josh do more important things. It feels like he's not doing anything important right now, which is fine. But if, personally, I'm someone that's trying to get on this Josh Alexander hype train because of how awesome he is, but I'm failing to see it. The lack of charisma and promo is really hindering that. And the fact that he's not doing anything of importance is not helping at all either. So I would like to see more of Josh, or it's going to get to the point where I'm just not into him at all. And I do feel like I'm in the minority in that. I don't feel like this is I'm right. I don't feel like I'm right. I feel like I'm in the minority, but I'm not just going to fake some affection for the guy just because I'm told that he's great. I'm waiting for someone to make me feel like that he's great. But that's just a me thing. So, I don't know, man. Up next, the TNA World Championship No Surrender rules. Moose, champion, up against Alex Shelley. This is Shelley's contractual rematch. All right, from Hard to Kill. So first thing about this match, the match was good. The match was not great, which I think it could have been great. And this is to no fault from Moose or Shelley. I just feel like the match was way overbooked. Way overbooked. Usually, you have a match like that, and when it's that overbooked, it's because you're trying to hide and or conceal someone's lack of in-ring ability. And we all know that there is no lack of in-ring ability as it pertains to Alex Shelley and Moose. So why all the bells and whistles? Why all of the extra shit? Just let them go in there and kill it like they did at Hard to Kill. I don't know. Let's get into it and see what happens. Shelley ambushes Moose at the start of the match. Moose favors his left knee early on, but ends up booting Shelley onto the floor. That's another thing about Moose. Moose is an absolute fantastic seller. Every match I see this guy in, I'm starting to wonder if he's hurt because of how much he sells one body part. He's so good. I think he's so underrated. So underrated at selling, man. Shelley wraps a chair around Moose's ankle and stumps on it. Myers throws his towel away from the situation to ensure that he's not forfeiting. All right. So another stipulation about the match was no one from either corner is allowed to physically get involved. They kept stressing that if your corner physically gets involved in the match, then that participant forfeits and the title can change hands. Spoiler alert, there's all kinds of interference in the match, like a lot. And commentary goes out of their way to try to explain to us how it wasn't physical. He grabbed the chair from the wrestler's hands, but he didn't touch the wrestler, so it wasn't physical. Come on, man. Really? Shelley goes for another chair shot when Edwards yanks it away. Eddie Edwards yanked the chair away. Shelley bends Moose's finger back by using a wrench against the turnbuckle. So he removed the padding, did Shelley. All right. And then in that steel buckle part where one would take a wrench to tighten it, he put Moose's hand in there. And Moose couldn't get it out because pro wrestling. Okay. Alicia has to get Myers to back down. All right. Moose unloads with punches to the head. Moose slams a chair against Shelley's hand. Shelley retrieves a kendo stick and strikes Moose's leg while tied up in the ropes. Eddie throws in a trash can. That's another thing. So they can't get involved physically in a match, but they're throwing weapons in the ring. They're taking weapons out of the ring. They're pretty much just involved as one can be involved. Which, I mean, tells me that stipulation just should have never existed. It just should have never existed. All right? I mean, just leave that stipulation out and the match would flow so much better. Because that stipulation kept sticking in my head. Like, that's interfering. That's touching. That's this. That's that. And I'm like, it's too distracting. That's one of the elements that made this match completely overbooked. All right? Eddie throws in a trash can as Moose takes Shelley up top. All right. Shelley bites him and then slams him back first onto the can. So Moose was on the top rope. And, I think he's on the second rope. And then Shelley, comes through his legs, then turns around and gets into the powerbomb position to slam Moose onto the chair, or not the chair, onto the garbage can. But the garbage can was not laying down. The garbage can was standing up, bottom up. So he got powerbomb onto the can while it was standing up. And if you don't know what Moose looks like, Moose is a big boy. Former NFL player, big boy. That can was standing up and Moose landed on it. That didn't feel good. That didn't feel good. Shelley applies a figure 4, but Moose uses a kendo stick to beat his way out of it, one that was given to him from Eddie Edwards. More interference. Moose orders a table. Eddie! Get the table! He didn't tell him like that, but he wanted a fucking table. Moose said, go give me a table. So they went and got Moose a table. All right. The system gives him a table. Moose props the table in the corner of the ring, inside the ring, as they both limp around, just beat the hell up. Moose nearly runs into the table himself, trying to spear Shelley because Shelley moved. Shelley low blows him and applies Border City Stretch. He low blowed him. Yes, he low blowed him because the match had no DQ. The match had no DQ, but the corners couldn't get involved or they would be DQ'd. What? What? Is there DQ or not? Brian Myers slips brass knuckles onto Moose's hand. Brian Myers put brass knuckles on Moose's hand without touching Moose at all. Referee is watching. How did he not touch him at all? I mean, with the precision of, because if the rep, look, man, that stipulation did not need to exist. I think it hindered the match a little too much. So Moose goes for another spear and runs through the table when Shelley moves. Kushida slides a chain to Shelley. These guys are just getting props for these guys, dude. They're as involved can possibly be. Shelley applies the Border City stretch with the chain across Moose's mouth. Love that spot. That looked fantastic. Love that spot. Knight runs inside and launches. So, again, this is how these guys are not getting involved. All of a sudden, Kevin Knight is in the ring, runs to the ropes, comes and then leaps off of a Kushida who's in the ring on all fours so Kevin Knight can jump off of his back to take out the system. These guys are not supposed to be involved. They're in the ring, jumping off of each other. Come on, man. Overbooked. Shelley scares Alicia out of the ring, but turns around into a spear while Kushida watches. Moose lands another spear. And then a third spear. Moose is spearing the holy hell out of Alex Shelley. Then Moose takes the chain. All right? He takes the chain and then wraps it around his shoulder. You know? And he goes for another spear. And then Kushida said, that's enough. That's enough. Throws in the towel before Moose gives him another spear, this time with the chain. Kushida throws in the towel, match is over, Moose retains, still your TNA World Champion. Then he speared Shelley with the chain on anyway. Fuck you, bitch. You're getting speared anyway. How you like them apples? How you like them apples? Ahead of the next bout, George Iceman introduces a surprise appearance from Ash by Elegance, who graces us ringside with her presence at commentary. God damn it. Next match, TNA Knockouts World Championship. Jordynne Juggernaut Grace versus Gisele Shaw. Shaw immediately dips out of the ring and runs around trying to escape Grace. Let me start off here. Gisele Shaw does not feel like anyone who would ever be in a position to beat Jordynne Grace for a world title. That's just fact. It just feels like there's just no damn way. You know? It feels like the job of these women was to convince me that Gisele Shaw had a snowball's chance in hell at defeating Jordynne Grace. And that's not, they failed at that one entirely. That's not how it went down at all. All right. Shaw tries for a clothesline but gets thrown against the apron. Grace hits a fallaway slam on the floor despite Shaw's attempts to turn it around. They get back inside. Shaw kicks and stomps on the champ. Grace pulls out a couple of body slams, a cover attempt. Grace slams Shaw up top. She places Shaw up top. And then Shaw ends up countering by driving Grace face first into the cabinets. It's kind of an ugly spot. Shaw flies off with a thrilling splash cover. Soon after, Grace hits an apron senton on the Shaw's back. And if you didn't know, Apron is the hardest part of the ring. Back up on the apron, Shaw lands a Spanish fly onto the floor. Nasty. Shaw tries for a pinfall several times. Grace hits a spine buster for a cover attempt. Shaw hits a knee strike. Grace grabs the rope. Shaw argues with the ref, allowing Grace to recover. Grace gets up. They trade strikes back and forth for a little bit. Shaw super kicks, goes for a cutter, but Grace evades and tries to stack up. More strikes from Grace, and then in comes the Juggernaut Driver for the 3 count. Winner and still Knockouts champion, Jordynne Grace. What'd you guys expect here? Man? Jordynne Grace has re-signed with the company. Trinity has left. She went back home, hopefully to join her husband in the bloodline. Hopefully. But I digress. For the time being, it appears that Jordynne Grace is going to be the one to lead the division, as should be. There's no more Deonna Purrazzo. There's no more Trinity. And I hope the future of the Knockouts division is not ashed by elegance, bruh. That's not good. For the first time, the TNA Knockouts division will actually appear to be subpar, which is not normal. That is not normal. They are normally top of the class, you know. Jake Something cuts a promo on the X Division main event. He says 2024 is the year he takes the X Division title. I don't know about that. But then again, his words were 2024, so I guess it is possible, because I got to tell you, I don't know how much longer I can sit and accept Mustafa Ali not being world champion. We will see. Main event. X Division Championship. Chris Sabin versus Mustafa Ali. Like I said earlier, he comes out. Fantastic, flashy entrance, bruh. Got the Secret Service with him. You know? Comes out looking like a star. Crowd is chanting. Ali, Ali. You can see the character-breaking smile on Ali's face. This is what I meant by he looks like he's so happy. If you just look at him, bro, he just looks like he's so happy. He's enjoying the moment. And before I forget this right now, because we're going to get into this match as the details of what happened, but major shout out and major props to Chris Sabin. All right, the current X Division champion. Got a TNA newcomer coming in to take his championship title from him in the main event. And Chris Sabin was an absolute professional out there. Chris Sabin did absolutely everything in his power to make sure that Mustafa Ali left that main event match looking like a star. As good as Mustafa Ali is, he does need someone who knows what they're doing in that ring. And Chris Sabin and Mustafa Ali, I mean, for my monies, put on a 5-star match. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. The selling, the back and forth, the spots, the moves, the crowd interaction. It was a fantastic match. And it could not have been done by Ali on his own. I think Chris Sabin needs his props for this, because I feel like any other person with that kind of seniority in the company would have put the kibosh on it. But that doesn't work for me, brother. Use my creative control. There's none of that shit, man. The crowd is hot as the two stare each other down. You know, the crowd is it's building a crescendo. Love it. At first, I was wondering why this was the main event over the world title. After looking at it, makes sense. Makes sense. They lock up. Chris Sabin backed into the corner. They trade arm drags and, the chain wrestling spots where they do one and the other one does one, and then they both do one, and they stand up and they... I see your powers are as great as mine. One of those moments. All right. Ali teases being in Sabin's head. Like, I'm in your head, bruh. I'm in your head. Sabin applies a headlock on the mat. Sabin throws right jabs until Ali slides out. Ali pulls Sabin into the ropes, but Sabin does a head scissors takedown from the apron that sends Ali back first to the floor. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. They end up back inside the ring. Ali hits a 450 splash onto the arm. He had Sabin down on all fours, but he had Sabin's arm on the rope. And Ali went to the top to do a 450. I don't know why Sabin just didn't move his arm. But I digress. Ali goes to the top rope, does a 450, comes down on the arm. Fantastic spot. Fantastic spot. Sabin pulls out a German, and they trade various kicks before falling down. Sabin goes up top, but Ali chops the chest. Sabin counters with a tornado DDT and a cover. Sabin applies a crossface, but Ali crawls to the bottom rope. Sabin unloads with punches. Sabin shoves Ali off the turnbuckle, and he lands on his feet. All right, Ali goes for a 450, but rolls through when Sabin moves. Sabin sidesteps, and Ali runs into the second turnbuckle full force. Man, he ran full force into that second turnbuckle, bruh. Like, he was like, I'm hitting them shits, man. He ran for it face first, and boom, and then body fell back. I mean, he hit that turnbuckle like it owed him money, bruh. Let's see. Sabin sidesteps, runs to the second step. Sabin drop kicks Ali out, and his personal security checks on him. The Secret Service. You okay, boss? We gotta brush you off, make sure you're good. Sabin goes to the top rope, though, and goes to, like, splash on all of them, but, Ali gets out of the way. But Sabin did land on all of his security guards. The Good Hands are spotted on the ramp wearing Ali shirts. Like, what the fuck these guys doing? Ali and Sabin trade kicks back inside. Sabin blasts Striker and then Hotch off the apron. Apparently they ran down and hopped on the apron. Ali goes for the roll-up, kick out. Sabin runs Ali over with a clothesline from hell. Sabin, from a clothesline from Hell Detroit, I think it is. I think that's what it is. Sabin hits Cradle Shock. That's it. Near fall, Ali pulls out a sunset flip bomb. In the corner, Ali goes back up top, lands the 450 splash for the win. Crowd goes batshit crazy. Winner and new X Division champion, Mustafa Ali. He celebrates amongst all his constituents his big win in his debut match. What a fantastic showing. What a fantastic showing for Mustafa Ali. The main event, big spot, title change, the promo packages, the entrance, the bodyguards, the crowd reactions. Ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at the next big star in TNA, and I can't wait for it. I'm here for it. I cannot wait for TNA to make Mustafa Ali a big star just so WWE can come crying to get him back. Because you know what's going to happen. They did it with Drew McIntyre, did they not? They did it with Bobby Lashley, did they not? They're going to do it again with Mustafa Ali. They will come crying to get Mustafa Ali back after the name he makes for himself. And I got to tell you right now, I don't think he'll go back. I think Mustafa Ali has had a taste of success, and he's only had one damn match. I don't think he'll go back. I think he'll do his time there in TNA. I think when he is done doing his time in TNA, I think he'll go to AEW. But I don't think he will go back to WWE because of the way he was wasted. Look, think of how many years this man wasted off of his career when he could have been elsewhere doing big shit, man. He's not the only, he's just the latest sad tale of misused talent in WWE. And stories like that are not exclusive to WWE. My God, there are many a talent wasted in AEW as well. But it seems that Mustafa Ali's boat should have been caught. That guy should have been pushed. He is a special talent. He is an absolute special talent. And shame on WWE for not treating him as such. Guys, that is the show. Overall, I give this one 4 tacos out of 5. Fantastic pay-per-view, man. Worth every penny, especially since you could have picked it up and watched it for $5. Fantastic pay-per-view. If you have not seen it and you want to see some fantastic wrestling, I don't expect you to be into the storylines if you don't watch TNA on a regular basis. But I will guarantee you, at the very least, you'll get some fantastic wrestling, man. Can't complain about that. Let's get into the super chats. If you have not done so, get those super chats in, man, and we're going to get to those right about now. Oh, this is going to go quick. Okay. Jason Barker, the IWC Tribal Chief, says, I thought the POTUS gimmick is gold. At first, I was skeptical, but I warmed up to it. I wonder why he chose that gimmick. Jason Barker, thank you so much for the super chat, bro. I don't know. I guess it's just, look, it's the part of Ali's creative process, man. I mean, it works. And my God, I mean, it's so relevant to current day with how volatile politics have been as of late and things like that. It's something that pretty much everyone can relate to. You know what I'm saying? And I like it. You can go just so many different directions with it too, man. I think it's a brilliant gimmick, man. I like it. I like it a lot. Thank you so much, man. And we're going to wrap it up with PD Shaw with the 8-month membership to the Taco Crew. Welcome. Glad you can join us. Like I said earlier, there will be exclusive content coming to the Taco Crew members, man. Stay tuned. I got some different ideas. Not only that, I got some show changes coming as well, man. I think you guys are going to dig it. I'm almost finished. With it, man. I can't wait to do the new reveal. Think you guys are going to love it. I think that was it. Make sure I didn't miss anybody here. And that is it, man. We are going to, there we go, call it a day. I appreciate you all for being here and joining us on your Sunday evening as we hang out and talk about No Surrender and all of the action that's come with it, man. I'm interested to see what TNA does going forward. it does feel like they're like in an emotional flux right now due to everything Scott D'Amore. But this is just one of those times where the will of TNA is going to be tested, and this is the time for the locker room to step up and let everyone know how they deal with adversity. We shall see, guys. Thank you for being here tonight. My name is Jesse, a.k.a. your very own one and only Chitown Smark. If you have not done so, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe, and once again, most importantly, turn on all notifications. I'm not going to flood your inbox with unnecessary notifications, man. If you get one from me, it's because stuff is going down, bruh. So feel free to hit that alerts button to be notified, and I will see you guys the next time I see you. Haha. Peace.
My continuous output, my flow of ideas for years been thrilling in me. Please don't stop this feeling in me before the feeling get to killing in me. See, I'm into mayhem. When I play here, the streaks are happy, and then I'm ready to leave your grave in. Lucifer got nothing to do with this shit. To the days of dirt, getting fucked up within, and I put that on the house, bitch. To the days of the dirt, you gon' cancel that down shit.
And you can inhale the danger. Consider this us spilling out pills of anger. Fuck around, swell a vein up and make you rebel on the stranger. Can't contain the things I'm thinking. Sometimes I be feel like I'm sinking in the motherfucking words of the rap. Floating in the ink pen, breathing and blinking as I lead you to the brink and push you off in the deep end of the issue. Out of the realm of reaching, you ain't gonna know what the fuck they hit you cause you sleeping. Chicago will be your motherfucking shit. Here to show you how worse of it fucking get. Don't play by books. I'm really up in it, burning the rules. Fuck that instruction shit.